We're at the Peak where the Thunder has defeated the Pacers 118-94. This is your Thunder postgame brought to you by Bob Moore Ford. This was a game between two of the best teams in the NBA, expected to be a great back and forth close battle. It was a blowout. How did the Thunder turn this supposed great matchup into such a blowout?
They just came out really energized. And Durant, it was supposed to be a matchup between two of the best players in the league, Paul George and Kevin Durant. Durant just kind of came out and right away showed who was going to be the better player on this night. He finished with 36. Russell Westbrook was great. I think 26, 13 assists, 7 rebounds. They just came out energized. The Pacers on a second night of a back-to-back, they were in San Antonio last night, just weren't that energized. And you could tell pretty much right away, I mean, this was going to be the Thunder's night.
Yeah, it's hard to tell how much of that second night of a back-to-back plays into this, but defensively, the Thunder seem to have good answers and good matchups for what the Pacers threw out. Kendrick Perkins on Roy Hibbert, obviously Thabo Sefolosha playing on Paul George for the most part this evening. That has to be a really positive sign, just to know that they can match up well against this team defensively.
Yeah, you mentioned Thabo, you mentioned Perkins, who've been struggling of late. We're pretty bad on the road trip. They played well tonight. It was probably Perkins' best game of the season. 6 points, 7 rebounds. Played Roy Hibbert well. I mean, this is a matchup, if potentially we see it in the finals, he's going to be useful. So I think that was encouraging overall. The defense overall was really encouraging. But I think more than that, the offense, they shot 61%, the best percentage they've shot in more than a year, and they did it against the defense that has the best field goal percentage defense in the league. So that's the most impressive factor, I think.
Yeah, fantastic night for the Thunder shooting the ball. Let's go back, lastly, to Kevin Durant, because you mentioned him. I don't feel like we've really talked about him enough, because this really was supposed to be a chance to see two of the showcase stars in the league. Paul George, a rising star. Some people saying that he maybe has taken the number 2 spot from Kevin Durant. Sure didn't look that way tonight.
Well, I mean, you got to give George some credit. I mean, he did go, I think he 32, something like that. He was definitely over 30. I mean, he played well. He showed what he can do. He's a shot maker. He was hitting some big threes. But Durant, just how easy his 36 came. And he's been great all year. And like you said, nobody's really talking about him that much because it's just become expected. And I think we could pump the brakes a little bit on Paul George, ascending past Kevin Durant.
I think Kevin Durant's definitely still going to hold that number 2 spot behind LeBron James for the time being. Hey, let's hear what the Thunder coaches and players had to say after this one.
It is a good win. There's no question. I'm excited that we played well and from start to finish in front of our crowd. But that's their 5th game on a 5-game Western trip, and they played last night, a very physical game against San Antonio. They like to run up and down the court, and they had a great win last night. So with all that being said, we still played well. We still went out and did our job, and that was compete for 48 minutes.
Anybody who's guarding me, I take it personal. And Paul George, he's a great defender, but I feel as though if I get to my spots and I do everything, play hard and forceful, I can score, whenever I get the ball. So that's how confident I am in myself, and it's a fun matchup. But it's all about the team. It's all about Thunder versus the Pacers, and tonight we came out here and got a good win.
I mean, we play like that. To me, I think when we play like that, ain't too many teams that can beat us but ourselves. And I think tonight was one of those nights we did a good job of just, playing our game, do what we do best, and that's defend and try to get easy transition points.
I mean, listen, every team in the NBA is good, So tonight we played a good game, and we focus on us. It don't matter really who we play against. We just want to play hard, play tough, play OKC basketball, and that's what we did tonight.
I thought we came out with the right mindset, though. One of our better wins from top to bottom. I thought everybody contributed in a great way. And the one thing that I noticed tonight is that we actually came out with the intentions to play stat-free basketball, and guys still ended up with pretty decent numbers. When you do things the right way, things will pretty much fall in place. When you try too hard, that's when things don't look too right, and things don't go well for the team. But when you just do what you're supposed to do, things go fall in place the way they're supposed to fall in place.
Now the Thunder hits the road for a couple before coming back for a pretty big game on Friday night. Look ahead for us, little Anthony.
Well, they're at the Atlanta Hawks on Tuesday, which, it's a decent matchup. Atlanta's one of the better teams in the East, behind Miami and Indiana, but that's not really that hard right now. So that one's a decent matchup. But then Memphis on Wednesday, which can be an interesting one. I mean, that's a team that knocked the Thunder out of the playoffs, so you'd expect them to come up energized. That's always an interesting matchup. And then Friday, back here, Kobe Bryant, who played his first game of the season tonight, you'd expect him to play Friday. That's always an interesting one, just to see him in Oklahoma City.
I suppose a few folks will come out for that Friday night matchup. Hey, be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.